James Knox Polk, the 11th President of the United States, is a figure whose leadership is often associated with the expansionist spirit of 19th-century America. Born on November 2, 1795 in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, Polk's early life was marked by personal struggle and academic ambition. The son of a prosperous farmer, Samuel Polk and Jane Knox, he grew up in a relatively privileged environment. However, due to a serious illness that left him weak and frail throughout his childhood, Polk was largely homebound and focused on education. He attended the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where he graduated in 1818 with honors. After completing his education, Polk studied law and passed the bar in 1820, establishing a successful law practice in Tennessee. His early career in law also saw his entry into politics, as he was elected to the Tennessee state legislature. Polk's ambition led him to serve in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1825 to 1839, where he became known as a staunch supporter of Andrew Jackson and his policies. This alignment with Jackson would shape much of Polk's political ideology, especially his views on westward expansion and the protection of states' rights. Polk's political career took a decisive turn when he was elected governor of Tennessee in 1839, though his first term was unsuccessful. He lost his re-election bid in 1841, but remained a significant political figure. In 1844, with the political climate ripe for a candidate who could unify the Democratic Party, Polk re-emerged as a candidate for president. His platform was heavily centered around the annexation of Texas, the acquisition of Oregon Territory, and the fulfillment of Manifest Destiny, the belief that the U.S. was destined to expand across the North American continent. Polk's victory in the 1844 Democratic National Convention was a surprise, as many expected the nomination to go to more prominent figures like Martin Van Buren. Polk's appeal lay in his clear stance on expansionism, as well as his political skill and ability to build alliances within the Democratic Party. He won the presidency by defeating Whig candidate Henry Clay in a closely contested election, winning 170 electoral votes to Clay's 105. Polk's presidency from 1845 to 1849 was defined by aggressive territorial expansion, a policy he had promised during his campaign. He set out to fulfill his campaign pledges of annexing Texas, acquiring Oregon, and bringing California into the Union. His goal was to expand U.S. territory from coast to coast, fulfilling the vision of Manifest Destiny. One of the first issues Polk confronted was the annexation of Texas. Following the 1836 Texas Revolution, Texas had become an independent republic, but tensions over its status persisted. In 1845, Polk successfully negotiated the annexation of Texas, which led to a diplomatic crisis with Mexico, which still considered Texas part of its territory. The annexation was controversial as it risked war with Mexico, but Polk pushed forward. Polk's next major foreign policy objective was the acquisition of Oregon. The Oregon Territory, claimed by both the U.S. and Britain, had long been a point of contention. Polk, however, was determined to settle the issue by 54 degrees, 40 minutes north latitude, a slogan popular among expansionists at the time. After negotiations, the Oregon Treaty of 1846 was signed, establishing the U.S.-Canada border along the 49th parallel and securing Oregon for the United States without bloodshed. The most controversial aspect of Polk's presidency, however, was his handling of the Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. Following the annexation of Texas, relations with Mexico deteriorated, and Polk sent American troops to the disputed borderlands along the Rio Grande River. After skirmishes between U.S. and Mexican forces, Polk declared war in May 1846. The war was fought largely in Mexico and the southwest, with key victories at battles such as Buena Vista and the capture of Mexico City in 1847. The war concluded with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848, which resulted in the U.S. gaining vast territories, including present-day California, Arizona, New Mexico, and parts of Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. While Polk achieved his expansionist goals, the war left a legacy of controversy and bitterness, with critics accusing Polk of provoking an unnecessary war for territorial gain. Additionally, the acquisition of new territories reignited debates over the expansion of slavery into the new states, leading to political tensions that would eventually culminate in the Civil War. Polk's presidency was not solely defined by foreign policy. He also focused on domestic issues, particularly economic reforms. One of his significant achievements was the reduction of tariffs. Polk, a proponent of free trade, successfully passed the Walker Tariff of 1846, which lowered tariff rates and helped reduce the cost of goods. This was a victory for Southern agricultural interests, but was opposed by Northern manufacturers. Polk also oversaw the establishment of an independent U.S. Treasury in 1846, which separated the federal government's financial dealings from private banks. This was a response to the economic instability caused by the bank war under Andrew Jackson and was seen as a way to secure the nation's finances. Despite his relatively short tenure in office, Polk left a significant mark on American history. By the time he left office in 1849, the U.S. had expanded dramatically, acquiring vast swathes of territory that would shape the nation's future. However, Polk's legacy is also intertwined with the consequences of this expansion, particularly the intensification of the slavery debate and the tensions that led to the Civil War. Polk did not seek re-election in 1848, fulfilling his promise to serve only one term. He returned to his plantation in Tennessee, where his health quickly deteriorated. Polk died on June 15, 1849, just 3 months after leaving office, at the age of 53. James K. Polk's presidency is often viewed through the lens of his unwavering pursuit of expansion and his belief in the country's manifest destiny. While his accomplishments were substantial, his presidency left behind a divided nation and a legacy that would play a crucial role in the conflicts that would follow.